This is actually a TikTok that I wanted to talk about. This is what I wanted to talk about here. I personally saw this TikTok the other day, and it's very interesting because it opens us up to have like a really nice conversation. And that's a conversation about I forget the word that they use, but basically like their primary parents. The problem is that it goes in a weird direction. Let me just play the video. Let me actually turn the volume on too.
I got overwhelmed.
Let's actually start with her video. This is the one that made me go like, what is going on here? Let's start with her video.
I got overwhelmed. So I did the right thing. And I put my 10-month-old in his crib, and I shut the door. And I came downstairs to eat my lunch. I figured I'll eat it. 5 or 10 minutes to myself. My husband came down after about 2 minutes. Said, "Why is the baby crying?" It's like, I needed a break. He works from home. I wasn't about to go interrupt his work day. He goes, "Okay, I'm gonna go get him." Okay. Not even 2 minutes after that, he comes back down, holding the baby. Tries to give him to me. I hadn't even finished eating my 1 bowl of curry. You know? And that's an example of something that I like to call hurtful helping.
Right. So basically what happens here, and this is a really good conversation, I think, especially for like young men, is that this is a mom, and there's the mom and the dad, obviously. Dad works from home. She seems to like not work from home. Maybe she's on like maternity leave, or maybe she's a stay-at-home mom. And especially when you first give birth in those first couple of years are really intense, right? Those are really intense years, right? So this mom is like, I need time to myself. She needs 10 minutes. She put the baby down, I'm assuming safely in the crib, tuck the baby, whatever. They're not going to have SIDS, I think it's called, like sudden infant death syndrome. And she wants to just have a meal. She just needs to get away. Husband heard the kid crying, understandable, got upset, so he went to get the kid. That's perfectly reasonable. But instead of like dealing with it himself and giving the mom a break, which she obviously needs, he decided to give it back to her, which kind of like which like fucks her over, right? Either let the kid cry, or maybe have a conversation where it's like, when I'm done with work, I'll help take care of the kid. Because here's the reality, especially when you first give birth to kids, right? It's tough, man. First of all, carrying a baby is really stressful on the body. Once you birth it, it'll fuck you up, boy. In a lot of different ways. My wife's friend just had a baby, and she's like, it's a stressful situation. It beats the fuck out of you, bro. And then if you get a C-section, it also beats you up. So you have to recover from that. On top of that, after you have your kid, all that lining, because like you have a period every month unless you're pregnant, obviously, but the lining I think still has to come out. My wife was talking to me about this yesterday. So you have like 9 months worth of like lining coming out, and that's stressful. I believe when like a lot of women are on their period, like they go to an extent a little bit anemic, like it stresses out the body having just a period alone, especially depending on how heavy it is. So you're going through constant stress. And then you have a situation of this. Let's say that the mom's a stay-at-home mom and the dad goes to work. All right, you have 24 hours in a day. Here's your entire cycle. Right? So let's just say the both of you are going to sleep, right? This is your sleep time. This is your work time. And this is your home. Well, this is the work. Then we have our work time here. For the guy, which we'll say the top is the guy, he works 8 hours. However, if you're like a stay-at-home parent and you're working the whole time, so when you get home from work as a guy, just help out your partner. There's always going to be like probably one partner that takes a little bit more care of the baby. I'd say it's probably going to be women, just based off of like how I think women are probably better, in those first few months, because I honestly like they're more nurturing, they're more caretaking. I don't think there's a problem if the roles are reversed at all. But like, help your partner in the way that they need to be helped, bro. Go let your wife leave the house for an hour and take care of your kid. Do like little things. Try to help her out in these different ways. Get up during the night and try to take care of that. Those first few years are going to be really tough. And as it gets easier, you can be a little more hands-off. But, like, that's the conversation to have around this. And I thought that's very important. The problem is that this girl is fucking crazy. Just listen to this.
I got overwhelmed. So I did the right thing. And I put my 10-month-old in his crib, and I shut the door. And I came downstairs to eat my lunch. I figured I'll eat it. 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, and that's another good thing my wife said. It's also okay for kids to cry. Like, it's okay. The kid crying isn't going to ruin the world. Like, kids sometimes cry. You know what I mean? It's okay if the kid's crying for 10 minutes. Yeah.
My husband came down after
Because
that.
that's what you have to do when there's the point where like where your kid becomes like, I don't know if it's like 1 or 2 or maybe a little later, where like you have to basically get your kid to stay in their crib. They're gonna cry, and you have to have like a little more hands off. Like maybe you had the baby sleeping with you for the first couple of years. Now you put them in a room alone. You have to teach them that independence, and they're gonna cry. Sometimes you just have to let them cry.
About 2 minutes, said, "Why is the baby crying?" It's like, I needed a break. He works from home. I wasn't about to go interrupt his workday. He goes, "Okay, I'm gonna go get him." Okay. Not even 2 minutes after that, he comes back down, holding the baby. Tries to give him to me.
If I say what I want to say, the way I want to say it, that's why you're not married brigade will come into my comments.
Okay.
There's women out there who die because of this.
So right off the bat, we are already massively disproportionate. Okay. There went like we're massive. We just had the massively disproportionate response. Fundamentally, this is a conversation about, I'd say mostly men, fathers, being a little bit more active in helping mothers. That's it. I think a lot of us understand that. I respect. Women are dying. So now we're already off to the fucking moon. We're already off to the fucking moon on this one. Women are dying. Relax. It's not that deep. It's a good conversation to have, especially with young men, which is why I want to have it. But chill the fuck out, okay? Women are not dying because of this. You're already losing a lot of us men, and we're the ones who need to hear this, okay?
The default parent syndrome.
Okay, default parent syndrome is basically, I'll look it up real quick. It's basically like where there's a primary parent, like a second. Like default parent is the parent who does the lion's share of the day-to-day work parenting. Now, I think that that's always going to happen. Again, the conversation isn't about making it exactly 50-50. It's about giving the support to that default or that, I'm going to call it primary parent, to help them in the way that they need. So I might end up being a more primary parent because I'm a stay-at-home worker and my wife works, a real job. So I work less hours and I'm much more flexible. I can literally do whatever I want. When I can stream whenever I want. There are days I stream at 12 in the afternoon. There's days I stream at fucking 1 in the morning. Do whatever I want, right? But in a normal dynamic, it's probably going to be the woman. And my wife's she's on maternity leave. She's going to be the primary parent. But I'm going to let her do what she needs to do. Like, if she needs to leave the house, I'm going to let her leave the house. Bro, I didn't talk about this. If you're going to breastfeed, apparently it's every 2 fucking hours. That baby's sucking your nipples. That's insane amounts of, like, when the fuck can you sleep? It's crazy. Babies are a handful. I'm going to take the baby from my wife. I'm going to let her go. If she needs to just leave the house for an hour and do nothing, or once she wants to go drive around and cry, I'm going to let her do whatever the fuck she wants. You know what I mean? And that's what the conversation is about: supporting your partner, supporting the primary partner, being good, divvying up the work in a way that your relationship feels is appropriate. That's it.
I used to wonder, do they not see it? I used to ask myself, how can they not see this is a problem? They know.
So I'm going to tell you that most, we'll say secondary parents, or mostly men, they're not doing this maliciously, or, there might be an aspect where some of the guys think that like maybe being a stay-at-home mom is a little too easy. It's not. I would say it's very difficult in the beginning. It gets a little easier as time goes on and your kids get more independent, but it's difficult in the beginning. But like, I don't think men are maliciously like, I want to overburden you with work. I think it's probably some men either think they're doing enough, or some just think like a little bit, they don't understand the stress that can come with taking care of a kid as a father. Most men aren't doing this maliciously, though. I don't think men are trying to be bad fathers. Okay? So right off the bat, there's issue number 2. Issue number 1, women are dying. Issue number 2, men are intentionally trying to do this to women. No. Chill the fuck out.
I've already made a video about this. Multiple. In fact, I could turn this into a series.
Mm-hmm.
Having a child with a cisgendered heterosexual male sounds terrifying.
And there it is. There's the ultimate virtue signal wokeness that ironically is invalidating. Okay, first of all, I hate this type of activism, and I hate this type, I'm going to call this feminism, because this type of feminism, this is a really important topic, I think, that is an aspect attached to feminism, right? But the way she's talking about it is to break down men over building up women. This is the problem. Every group does this. The feminist group does this. The manosphere group does this. Every group does this. They focus on breaking down what is perceived to be the other side instead of building up the side that they want to build up. Additionally, if you want to be this fucking woke, oh, this is why I'll never date a cisgendered heterosexual male. Okay, I guess then what you're saying is that trans men aren't men. Like, where the fuck do we go with this? You're so woke, you're just invalidating trans men. Now trans men aren't the same as cisgendered men, guys. Like, or they're not real men because they're so fucking profoundly different. Like, you realize like your ridiculous woke activism is just invalidating? You don't have to be that fucking woke about it. Well, you know what you could do as a grown adult? You could set boundaries that are reasonable and have conversations with the partners that you're with about the dynamic that you're going to lead when you have a fucking baby. You're not going to, if you start dating someone and have a baby in the first month, you're insane. You have plenty of time to sit down and find a partner and have conversations with that partner about the way that you want to handle your relationship when you have a baby. That's what you do. That's what dating is. Dating is learning, exploring, and creating boundaries for when you have when you grow up together. Again, this is it's just fucking, it's virtue signaling bullshit that doesn't help anybody. It just appeals to a very small group of people who want to hate men. That's what this is about. She's not trying to build up women. She's trying to fucking break down men. She's just buzzwording, bro. It's like superfruits. It's like avocados and blueberries. That's all this is, dude.
Even when you think they're helping, they're actually helping you slowly lose your mind.
Wow, that's crazy.
I don't even want to call this weaponized incompetence anymore.
Well, you have that as a hashtag.
This is another level. It's like reaching out your hand to help someone and then stinging them with a needle.
That's what you're doing. You realize that, right? Like, that's what you're doing to like your own, like this. That's what you're doing. You think you're helping with this video, but you're actually hurting the narrative. Not a single man is listening to this and going like, wow, I'm learning a lot at all. Okay. And you're just being really ironically invalidating to really not just like trans men, but also gay men. Because apparently gay, heterosexual, cisgendered men do this. Okay, I guess then you're saying that gay men and trans men are just fundamentally different from, by your logic, what you would consider real men. This is what happens when you get so fucking woke. You're doing the same goddamn thing here, bro. This is ridiculous. You're insane. You're crying. Oh my god. Please save the "but not all men" speech. I never said it was. Yeah, you did, idiot. Don't think it's. I'll be less afraid because you know men are who are decent human beings. Enough with the not all men bullshit. It's the same thing as if I say something about like women and like, oh, women are fucking this. And you're like, well, and then you go like, well, somebody responds to that and like, oh, why are you being so hateful? And it's like, well, I didn't say all women. It's like, that's what you're implying. So shut the fuck up. I liked how this started though. So my question is that does this woman even have a boyfriend? Like is this her with her kid, I guess? Never let a woman down. Even if you lose your sleep. I'll never let another woman down. This isn't even her kid. I mean, that's good. Being part of the village means my sister needs oh my god, I can't read it. Being part of the village, my sister needs as an engaged single mother. That's good that you're taking care of someone else's kid. It's good that you're helping out your family, but you don't have it seems like the way that she started off that other bit is that it seems like she doesn't have, like she said in the beginning. We're gonna watch it real quick.
I think I was about to.
When do you actually say
the way I want to say it? That's why you're not married brigade will come into my comments.
Yeah, exactly. Like she's not married, she doesn't have a kid. Like exactly. You said this the way that would make me go, yeah, you're obviously not married. You clearly, as a person, do not understand what it's like to be in a healthy relationship. This is a conversation about boundaries. Women need to set boundaries with men that they need more help, and men need to try to educate themselves onto understanding that the job of birthing a child, carrying a child, birthing it, and having a baby and taking care of it, especially in those first few years, is very difficult, and you need to be an active part in that relationship. All right, you both need to be each other's support system. That's the conversation here. What she's doing is she's just trying to shit on men. She doesn't give a fuck. I mean, that's what it comes down to. It seems like her sister is a single mom, and like, so she maybe is like fucking has a negative interpretation of men because like one man in her life is bad. But this is the reality, bro. Like, you're not doing this. You're not even having this conversation anywhere close to the right way. So that it do be what it does be, bro. It does be what it do be, dude. I don't even know if I want to watch this. What's a good possibility? What is that? Maybe she's mad at her sister's partner. Yeah, I think that she is mad at her sister's partner. I think she should have spoke about postpartum depression and suicidal tendencies after giving birth if you don't have a partner that helps you or see. Yeah, that's a good point. The people who have post-traumatic stress disorder, or excuse me, postpartum depression, that's a good conversation to have. Bring that up instead of saying women are dying. Say, hey, listen, a lot of women have like a massive hormonal shift, and it makes it very difficult for them, especially in those first couple of years as they adjust to it. So they're going to need extra help. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.